Alright, let's do this. Upgrade available. Bam! Only 60,000 TVs left to go. What's up, guys? Glad to have everyone back. New episode, Profitville. And last episode we left off with the need for the upgrade to which you just saw for our electronics HQ, and we went ahead and did that. I let the game run for a little bit. We went ahead and we made our 1.5 million in electronics profits, and that gave us the opportunity to go ahead and upgrade it. Next upgrade is eligible in 4.597 million profit. That is going to be tough to obtain, especially with just one processor factory. But that's not really our mission at this point. Our mission is to finish out our arcology, and we've never been closer. Again, like I said, 60,000 TVs is what we need. 60,000 crates of TVs. I'm not sure exactly how many TVs that actually is, but not really, my question to answer. But let's go ahead and look. Processor factories is holding together strong. We're producing, let's see, about 6,000 crates a day, which is ideal. What we're going to want to do in this episode is set up a little area here where we're going to do, or better yet, should I say, create our TVs and ship them out. And again, I also touched on in our previous videos how poor of a location this is out here, to having our processor factory and our trade port all the way out here, especially with how horrible my road layout is. So what I've actually decided on doing is making our computer factory right down over here. And I know I'll lose a few buildings, but at the same time, I think it'll definitely be worth it. Basically, the trucks are going to have a far less reach to get over to the arcology, which will ideally speed up the whole process. So let's get moving with that. As far as placement, I have a trade port here, or excuse me, trade depot. I always get them too confused, so if I hop back and forth, my apologies. Trade depot is the little puny one. Trade port is the one that holds a lot more for those of you that are new to the game. But this little baby trade depot over here, it's kind of holding together the plastic that we were using to create our processors, which is, of course, important. But I'm thinking it can be probably moved out down this way. And because we're essentially importing this stuff and shipping it out here anyway. Let's take a look at the best options for us. Now, we had a recycling plant over here. We've since gotten rid of that. We still have one here. Definitely don't want to get rid of any of our Omega, because that is our money producer. Let's take a quick look at our finances as well. We're barely making any money, and that is definitely the complete opposite of what we were intending to do here. But again, not making excuses. A lot of this stuff costs money here. These processor factories and trade ports and whatnot. As soon as we're done with the arcology, we can focus again more on our Omega. I'm not sure if you remember, or if you'd like to tune into our previous episodes. We were making 20, 30, 1,000 an hour, simoleons an hour. So, we've been there. We can very easily revisit that. Now, seeing as how the trade port's doing so well, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add the computer processing plant over here on this side of the street. So let's take a look at what our choices are and what we need to do, because I haven't even looked at it. Now, in order to get the consumer electronics factory, we're going to need to add a consumer electronics division, an electronics HQ. So let's head over here to our electronics HQ, and let's see what our options are here. Now, first we got to put a sign, because without a sign, it's not even going to work properly. We all know that. So, consumer electronics division, this is what we want. And before I screw anything up, let's check that one more time, because I have made monumental mistakes in the past in regards to stuff like this. So let's just make sure I'm doing the right thing here. What we need for this is going to produce our TVs. Okay, we need a consumer electronics division. Let's go ahead right back here and consumer electronics division. Great. So here it is. Let's find a nice little space for it. I guess over here would be nice for now. Wow, that costs 500,000 simoleons. Definitely not cheap, but definitely worth it when you guys see how well that arcology is going to round out our city. So we got that, and now it's saying petition to build computer storage lots approved. So now we can add in those storage lots throughout, and that is what we really want to do. Now, again, we're going to put this consumer electronics factory right here. And I don't like how that mega tower is blocking, but you know what? We can actually put them around the back down here. Okay, good. So we got it placed. Now let's see what we're going to need. Processors, done deal. Alloy, we're collecting through our recycling center, done deal. And plastic, I'm importing fairly cheap. Definitely recommend you guys importing plastic as opposed to creating it. Creating it can be kind of a headache. You need a lot of resources. And that's ultimately going to provide us the TVs. Let me slow this down just a bit here. And let's go ahead and get our factory in working order here. Now, I'm not going to add that sign yet until we get all of our trucks in and we get all of our placement for our TV assembly line. Now, as you all know, when you add these modules down, you always want to be sure that the module that it comes with is indeed what you actually are targeting on producing. Now, in this case, TV assembly line, that's perfect. For example, if this were to spawn with a computer assembly line, you might want to get rid of that and add in your TV assembly line. So in this episode, or in this instance, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add multiple TV assembly lines. Now, it looks like we can add one. I'm trying to think of what the best way to do this is. We're going to want to add our trucks down over here. Actually, we only need space for one more. And then let's go ahead and add our TV assemblies. So we can add another one here, and maybe one here, and finally maybe one here. And actually that worked out well because we're not even taking out our residential establishments there. So great job for that. Now, we haven't even done anything yet. We're already producing TVs. We've got our processors in. We've got our alloy in. And we're starting to produce TVs. One thing we're also going to want to do, we're going to definitely want to turn this on out here. This is going to start sending our TVs out to our arcology. Is add another trade port. Because, to be honest with you, we do not have enough room anywhere. Now, let's see what we got here. We've got a processor, an alloy, and a processor. So let's maybe swap one of these out. I feel bad because we have processors there, but I'd like to swap, or better yet, maybe we should put it down over here. Let's swap out one of these. So we don't really need metal, I'll be honest, we don't need it. Oil we'll keep for now. Some of these Omega factories are running dry. So let's add a computer storage lot there, and let's keep it on use locally or import, depending on what you really want to do. In our case, we'll just use locally since we're making them ourselves. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe it won't go that well. Maybe we'll decide on importing them, and we can very easily change that. We're making relatively good money overall, but with the way everything is costing, I don't know if that would be the best bet. We'd probably drain our cash fairly quickly. We can make some of it back by selling the processors we're making, but I'd like to go down this route first. A lot of you are saying that it'd be best to import the TVs as opposed to making them. Well, maybe it is, but let's go ahead and at least try. So we're in the position that we've wanted to be in for a while now. We have our consumer electronics factory. We're producing TVs. We've got a little lot over here for the surplus, and we've gone ahead and we've switched over our arcology construction resource tab to send resources. So that is definitely what we wanted to do. Now, since we got all that put in place, let's look at a couple other things in regards to the city here. We are losing an astronomical amount of money with the importing of raw ore, crude oil, and that's all thanks to our Omega Co. Now, what I'm noticing, and I don't know if it's fault of my own, that these Vital pads don't do as good of a job as you would think. Now, when you have one or two plants down, and I've mentioned this in my other videos, it's one thing. You know, have a Vital come and have a Vital land and deliver the ore. But when you've got multiples, it's, I don't know, it's just not working right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another, and better yet, let's go ahead, we can leave that for now. We're going to create another trade depot, or maybe better yet, multiple trade depots. And we're going to import our oil and our ore. This way we can make sure our Omega Co factories don't run out. Now, the hardest part about all this is finding room. Again, these city plots are great, but they're really small. So I was thinking maybe we can clear out some stuff up here, or maybe we can clear out some stuff down here. But the reality is we're going to want it as close by our Omega Co factories as possible. And I know this is a gold member building, and so is this, but I think it's our best bet down over this way. Really makes me sad to see that go, though. You know, I wish there was another way, but All these are gold members. Let's see here. Huh. This is our police station. Can't really do that in here. Okay, maybe we can get rid of this, though. I'm trying to think of what we needed that trade depot for. Why did we need that? We needed that for this, I think. Yeah, what'll end up happening is me get rid of that, and then this won't work, so we'll leave that. Can we put it down here? Will it fit? How much money are we losing? Yeah. I'm just kind of puzzled as to what's going on. Like, why are we losing so much money? I'm thinking it's these mega towers here. These were added before the patch. And as you can see, they're not profiting at all. These two were added after the patch. And that was not profiting. None of them are profiting. Man, if any of you guys in the comments can let me know what I'm doing wrong with these mega towers, please tell me, because I've done everything. I mean, we're overworked. I'm paying all this money for these mega towers. So I'm paying $7,300 an hour, and I'm only making $3,100. So let's go crazy. Let's delete this. And I know for a fact that was I believe our first mega tower, or if not our second. Let's give the game a second to recalibrate itself, and let's create a new mega tower. And let's see if maybe by redesigning it after patch, it's going to help us just that little bit extra to get our profits back in line. Again, you guys are awesome in regards to our multiplayer region. Everybody seems to be having a lot of fun. I know I mentioned it in my last video as well, but what I've actually gone ahead and thought about, I'm thinking maybe another multiplayer region right after this one. Reason being, when I did my first multiplayer region, there really wasn't that many subscribers. I want to say maybe I had 100 or 200. I can't really remember the exact number, and filled up the multiplayer region very quickly. A lot of you guys are active. Great. This time around, I'm nearing 1,000 subscribers, and there was probably 75 to 100 of you that wanted into the multiplayer region. And for those of you that watched the videos, there's only, I think, 12 empty plots, and that doesn't really leave much room for people. So I want to get as many people included as I can. What I've decided to do is after this one concludes here in a few weeks, we're going to go ahead and likely do another one, and we're going to see how that goes. And, you know, I'm just going to give you guys what you want, and that's really what it comes down to. So, after taking out this one mega tower, I've gone ahead and I'm in the positive. I want to look at a couple things here before I put this down. What does my city need? That's really what I'm looking at. We need low-wealth residents. There's plenty of jobs available. There's a lot of unsatisfied low-wealth shoppers. So maybe if we started with a mall level. Are we okay on power? Yeah, you see, I gotta watch this too because... Can I import? Oh, I am importing power. Okay, so we should be good on that. So let's start off with a mall level. Let's see how that works out. In my multiplayer city, Captain's Flats, the few mega towers that I've put down are doing perfectly well. I mean, I'm profiting. They're fully endorsed by Omega Co. And for some reason in this city, I'm having some real difficulty in trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. So, again, if any of you guys in the comments below want to just tell me what I'm screwing up here, please do, because I am always open to constructive criticism in regards to my SimCities, and got no problem with those of you telling me what I'm doing wrong. I know the patch recently came out and was supposed to fix a lot of this stuff. A lot of it was not fault of anybody. It was the game, and I know they fixed a lot of stuff, and they did recommend that the mega towers in your cities prior to patch, and I know I keep touching on it, are not subject to the new update. So you likely want to get rid of them and start again. We haven't been in that money situation to be able to do that. So hopefully this will be kind of a test mega tower, and we'll see. We'll take it one level at a time, and I think that's the difference in my other city. I went ahead and I put it down, and I did one level, and I kind of waited it out and saw what the level wanted, another level, and such. So we're going to try that with this episode here. And we'll pick up here next episode with what we're finding out in regards to the mega towers. Before we leave and before we hang up this episode, let's take a look and see, have we shipped one TV yet? No, not yet. Have we produced any TVs yet? I think we have. And we'll let this run just a little bit. Yeah, we've got 6,400 crates. I believe as soon as this hits the 8,000 mark, they'll start pushing them across the street here, and then they'll start heading out that way. So thanks again for tuning in. Another episode in the books for Profitville. Next episode, again, we will focus a little bit more on these mall tower and these mega towers and find out what's going on with that. Finish up with these computers, open up our arcology, and focus more on profits, because that's what this one's all about. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We'll see everyone next time.